Well, good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Dirk, for your kind words in the beginning of the session. And first and foremost, for allowing me to be part of this network since, I would say, almost day one. And this is one thing that I always take home is the privilege of being part and learning with others that have exactly the same kinds of problems, some of them solutions. And that's, I would say, the biggest benefit that we have around because let's see, this is working. Cool. We've started, and for the ones that were here before in previous sessions, you've heard some of this. We've started on the opposite side of most of the cases of the observatories that we have on the table. We've started with the destination side because we felt that all this is true. Issues are becoming local, management is becoming local, and for us, the way that we see, and we have the benefit of having today the president of the Algarve, the biggest region in Portugal, with us, Andrea here, and Duarte also, but also the Observatory of Centro. And we've started because we see that they have a problem. They have to manage pressure, they have to manage impacts in the destinations, and they need tools. And management is not easy, and the journey was not easy. So every time that Dirk invites me to come here, I always say, well, he's trying to test me if I quit, because this took us a long, long time before getting where we are now. And it's thanks to the work of our network. So a lot of things have been said already. First, it's becoming local. Second, we are shifting from marketing to management because we have to deal with impacts at local level, but destinations don't have tools. And I believe that this network and the guys around the table that are producing data and evidence based on this have a role to play in providing to destinations the tools they need to actually take the decisions. Otherwise, they will take decisions like they hold it in all over the time, so which is not acceptable with the level of things that we have. We'll launch this year. After 7 years of work, we managed to have all our regions into one single network. We've created destination watches after, you cannot imagine how much time did we take to get to this name. And it happened in 20 seconds. But what is the destination watch is the network of the 7 observatories that we have in each one of the 7 tourism regions in Portugal. So everyone is on board. Some of them are speeding up in a pacey way. Some of them are starting. But what we want is this network to be, I would say, our insto at national level that works together towards a common vision on sustainability measurement. That is one thing. And so, answering a bit on MST's challenge that Dirk was mentioning. I'm advocating since day one the integration of MST into the work of observatories. I think we are now in the time of doing that. MST was approved by the UN Statistics Committee, so it's time for merging, for trying to integrate what we do here brilliantly at the observatories level and what we do at our common framework for the future of tourism. So we'll launch this in June, and the objective is to support. So this is not a data project for data guys. This is a data project for supporting destination management, because they are the ones to take decisions, and they are the ones that need data and knowledge sharing. 5 big pillars of work of this network. First, a network. It happens a lot. People don't know each other. People don't know what other tools they are using. People don't know about the failures that are using. As important as the things that we do good is the time and money that we save to people say, that doesn't work, let's try another one. The second one is true collaboration, where we had last week a meeting with more than 40 people from the network. So it's starting to grow, and we are also bringing the attention of this topic to universities, because they are the ones responsible for producing knowledge. So we have to invite them to our agenda and not imposing our agenda to them. It's not going to work. For third pillar, monitoring. That's what we've been doing with, I don't know how many frameworks, I don't know how many systems. What we are trying to do is using the marketing funnel strategy, which let's try to agree on what to measure, and let's do it together in the same way. Believe me, it's not an easy one. Last, well, act on. Best practices means how do they act on? How do destinations actually go from numbers to actions? And finally, well, obviously, regional and local focus aligned with the national strategy. So basically, this is what I explained. So it's for further reading, but supporting destination management is actually the purpose of this. And this illustrates a little bit how do we work. So one observatory in each one of our NUTS2 regions. So every region in Portugal has one observatory. The driver is the destination management organization that picks the universities that are going to work with them in a permanent basis. So we have a partnership, a formal partnership with each one of the observatories, basically committing. I think Jorge put it in a very nice way a few minutes ago. If governments change, if politicians change, if bosses change, things have to continue. So observatories have to be sustainable. And we've started here pushing for the Insto network. And that was a trap for our destination managers, because we invite them to come because no one wants to leave and no one wants to say they leave. So that is a trap that we put it on the table, and they agreed on that. And then we work like a lab. And what we try to do is one thing that it's not an easy thing, which is integrating all the work that a lot of players are doing into learning, testing, agreeing, and progressing. So we're using one project that we have with the European Commission, funded by the European Commission, that hired OECD. So the first block of our work with the observatories was, okay, let's try to define indicators at regional and local level, aligned with existing data, but also with the frameworks that exist. And that's what we are now putting on the table, and we're going to use MST also as a framework for this. And that was my goal, and I think I can say this, in the last UN Tourism Statistics Committee, I actually said it's time for integrating both worlds. So putting all frameworks together, and let's try to find one common path that we all together can move on. But this is the role of the observatories, the two first blocks. The third block is our role at national level. We know that funding is not easy. We know that guaranteeing dedicated people to observatories is not easy. So what we've decided is first, and that is our agenda that we are building now. So first, a common action plan. What are we going to measure in the short term, in a medium term? That is first block of it. Second one, it's not only about the traditional data sources. At local level, there are thousands of new data sources that can be used, that are available, and that are useful for practical decision. This is not just building science. This is actually helping people to take their decisions. Third one is knowledge transfer. Sometimes data guys, and I run a team of data guys, have one problem. We assume that people that have to make decisions know everything about the data that we're producing. Believe me, it's totally wrong. After 200 dashboards that we've been producing, believe me that we've tested everything that is possible that doesn't work. So we have to transfer the knowledge. We have to sit with the guys that have to take the decision and say, guys, well, if you change this instead of this, you will get to that decision. Sustainability is one key driver, but if you think about market expansion, is exactly the same. So capacity building also from ourselves, because we need data environment is growing significantly. So we need to actually prepare and train our experts in our observatories to what are the tools that are available, what is the landscape that are available, invite experts to our meetings. That's our action plan for the network, is actually to support them in growing in terms of destination monitoring. And finally, but I think the most important, and I get calls every week on this because it's not ready yet, but it's going to be next month, I promise, is going to be a dedicated funding scheme from our side, the National Tourism Board, to actually support the sustainability of observatories. We know that if we don't give them at least 2 years of funding to start and to speed up their projects, is not going to happen, because otherwise it's because people are passionate and people are trying to promote. So that's what we see the roadmap. So learning and connect, and I believe this network is quite important for us. Quite important. We've met so many people with the same kinds of issues and established networks and learning and bringing home solutions to our problems. Then explore, design, and test which are the frameworks that we're going to work, and finally integrate and manage with the destination management organizations to progress. So this is, after 7 years, we reach a network, and I hope next year I can present some of the outputs of the network, but most of all, the feedback that we have from destinations that things are progressing. And that is my email for anything that you need from my side. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here once again.